Niall Horan, Zayn Malik, Liam Payne, Harry Styles, and Louis Tomlinson had never met prior to their appearances on the British talent show The X Factor. All five appeared on the 2010 season in the boys category. None of them qualified within that original category. However, one of the judges, Nicole Scherzinger, made the suggestion that the boys join forces to form a group and enter the groups category of the show. With mentoring by Simon Cowell, the group would end up beating out the majority of the competition to place third overall that season. They would go on to be the first of the season to break into the charts in the US and UK. Join us to learn more about the musical group One Direction. The five young men had never met prior to their appearance on British TV show The X Factor. Having auditioned in the boys category, they were told in spite of their talent individually, they were not interesting enough to finish. Still, in the boot camp phase of the show, the judges did not want to send them home. Instead, Simon Cowell, Nicole Scherzinger, and Lewis Walsh came up with the idea of combining their talents into a group. So, One Direction was born at Wembley Arena in London, England, on July 23, 2010. The group then had 2 weeks to get to know each other and to work together on their music. The name One Direction was created by Styles, as he thought it would sound good when they announced it on the show. For their first performance together and their qualifying song at the judge's house, One Direction sang an acoustic version of Torn. They became Simon Cowell's last group, as FYD, Diva Fever, and Belle Amy were eliminated within a 4-week time span. The group gained popularity in the UK. One Direction finished in third place behind second-place runner-up Rebecca Ferguson and winner Matt Cardle. Their song Forever Young, which was scheduled for release upon their winning the competition, was instead leaked onto the internet. It was confirmed shortly after the show's conclusion that Simon Cowell had signed One Direction to a record contract with his company, Psycho Records. One Direction began working on their debut album in February of 2011. They flew to Los Angeles to work with producer Red One. February saw One Direction and 9 other contestants participating in a tour called the X Factor Live Tour. The group performed for around 500,000 fans throughout the UK. The tour finished up in April, and One Direction got back to work on their album. The group recorded in the United States, Sweden, and UK. Producers like Carl Falk, Savan Koticha, Steve Mack, and Rami Yacoub were among some of those that worked on the debut album with the new group.
Lads, let's talk about August of last year. Your debut single, What Makes You Beautiful, becomes the fastest-selling #1 of 2011. What was it like releasing that first single together as a group?
That was the first little bit we got from the album. So to hear that sort of news, I mean, we were massively nervous when we were releasing, just wondering what's going to happen, and then, to break a record and have that sort of number as well is just wicked. So we were really impressed.
When you're doing all of that promo and you're going all around the country, do you miss home? What is it like constantly being on the road? Do you get to touch base much with your families and friends?
Yeah, I think, it's important we try and do it as much as we can. I think when you get, those little bits of time off, you try and, go home, even if it's just for a day, just to, see your family and stuff. I think when you go home, you often come back more tired than you were when you left.
Yeah.
Because you try and, rush around and see as many people as you can when you get home.
It's probably the only con of the job, really, that we don't get to spend as much time at home as we'd like to, but that's it, really.
Do you get days off? What is your schedule like? Is it overwhelming, or what do you do on your time off?
We do get a few days off.
Every now and again, yeah. We're lucky enough to get a day
We just do really normal things. We're just really normal lads still, we just spend time with our family and friends and stay at home and chill on the sofa.
Kind of things you used to spend most of your time doing before.
Yeah, exactly.
Really, yeah.
And what about the paparazzi when you are just during your downtime? What's your relationship like with them? Do you hate them? Are they a blight?
We don't mind them.
You don't get them too badly at home either, but usually if I'm at home, then
if you're nice to them, they'll be nice to you.
Yeah, some
Really?
of them are alright. A lot of them, they'll be like, if I can just get a picture, then I'll go. And then some of them do, and then some of them don't.
Has there ever been like a moment, say with paparazzi, or if there's just been a huge amount of fans, that you've ever thought this is actually ridiculous, someone's going to get hurt here?
There was when we were in France, actually, in the train station, I think was one of the worst it's been.
And that what time we had in New York?
Yeah, that time in New York as well. Like there was this time in France, we like when we walk through a kind of public space, we have to get like all security in public. We have to get like all security around us. Then we like stand together as a group, and you have to like be like within touching distance of everyone.
Neglect.
So then it's like literally like you just float your way out of the thing because there's so many people around you, and then literally
Are you
there was like
serious?
about 200, 300 girls just like slotted around
They've
this
lost
small
a shoe.
space. I lost my shoe.
Zayn tripped over.
I got my
I lost
hair
my mind.
pulled as well.
Neglect.
That's unnecessary, come on. That's a very good hair to
Harry
be
Hobbs
pulling.
gets terrible.
And then when me and Niall went one time to go to a restaurant in New York, we went to go to a restaurant in New York. There was literally like how many girls following us down the road? Like just on a small. Like how many girls following down the road? Just on a small like road.
7,000, I think it was.
There was quite a few.
7,000.
Oh my God.
Neglect.
It was scary, that.
Just picking up on hair, right?
Glam.
I want to know how many people are involved in the One Direction glam squad?
Glam squad of this.
Who gets everything ready? How many? One.
One here.
One incredible person.
Are you
Amazing to
serious?
go that far.
And in terms of how you look,
Yeah.
do you get much input into how you style? Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
100%, yeah.
We
Is
just kind of
it?
tell our stylists, like Lydia and Caroline, like what we like to wear, and then they just kind of go and get it for us.
It wouldn't be very good if they had someone saying, you have to look like this, you know what I
You
mean?
have to wear this.
Yeah.
It's funny
It's
because
just like-
sometimes they'll bring like all the clothes, and then two of us will be like, oh, I prefer that, and then I prefer that, and then we'll just like swap
Swap
over.
around.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
like,
we did that for the Men in Black one.
Yeah.
You had a white jacket on, yeah.
yeah, you're right.
And even in
You do that for
terms,
the waistcoat as well, the VMA.
I like girls swapping clothes. I love it. In terms of even your hair, like who decides, like when you wanted, say, your blonde streak, or when you got your head cropped, does that have to be passed through like numerous
Yeah, another
stylists
day.
before that
Nah,
can
we
be
just kind
okay?
of did it, I think.
Yeah, I probably should have passed it with someone, but I didn't. I just cut it. I was just at home one day and decided I just wanted a bit of a
Did you
blonde.
do that yourself?
Nah, my girlfriend's mum did it for me. Yeah.
Good job.
She's a hairdresser, so it was
We
cool.
love her work.
I thought it was
Absolutely.
funny.
Yeah.
Loving the work.
Loving her work. I want to ask you about February of this year, the Brits. You win Best British Single. You're up
Brits.
against...
Febuary.
Does it feel like a longer time?
Yeah, it feels like ages ago.
Does it?
Feels sooner than that, I think.
That feels neglect.
I think the year's gone so fast.
How did that feel? Like you're beating Ed Sheeran and Adele. Like
That was
ridiculous.
the crazy thing, like the weeks leading up to it, knowing who was in the category, like it was just like...
Songs, not even like
Yeah.
Yeah.
someone like you and A-Team.
I think it's just clear that we have such a incredible fan base behind us, and you know they're the people who voted for the award, and to win against, like you say, Ed Sheeran, Adele, and
Yeah.
obviously everyone else in that category, we're very lucky.
Absolutely. Then let's talk about when you really made history. March of this year, you entered the US Billboard chart at #1, the first UK group to ever top the chart with your debut album. What is that like? Do you get how big a deal that is?
Yeah, it's insane, and when you say it as well and say it like that to us, it just becomes even more real. Like it's crazy, you know. We didn't really even expect to be successful like outside of the UK. We just thought we'd give the UK a go and see how it went, and you know, to find out that we were the first, you know, UK act to debut at #1 in America is crazy, and we're just humbled and flattered by all the people that went out and bought it. It's amazing.
I remember you saying that week as well, when we were saying, oh, you know what, we'd love it if we got top 20.
Top 20
That was
is
the thing, that's where it started at, and then
Yeah.
they were like, oh, it's got a bit better now, you're in so-and-so. We were like,
top 10.
oh yeah, top 10. Then we went, oh, top 5, and then it ended up being #1, so it was just literally like starting out that week and being like, yeah, top 20 would be brilliant, lads, it'd be absolutely wicked.
That week, it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
Guns N' Roses,
yeah.
Whitney Houston, us, Adele, and Bruce Springsteen.
Really?
To be fair, we really had to work for it though.
Yeah,
That
we did
week
a lot of
was
crafting that
solid promotion. Like there was just no time to sleep really.
Why do you think they love you so much in the US?
I think they like the
accent?
accents.
Yeah. It's just there hasn't been a UK thing there for a while, obviously, so I think for us to...
Band, yeah.
Yeah, there hasn't
especially,
been like a UK like thing, so it's nice to be out there supporting the UK. Yeah, Ireland.
running the flag for UK and Ireland.
Absolutely, absolutely. Let's talk about August of this year. Live While We're Young. It's the fastest selling pre-ordered single in history. How did that feel when you heard that?
No, once again, like, you know, coming into the second album, being obviously quite nervous about what's going to happen, and then to have, once again, the fans just straight behind us before they've even heard a note, so it's brilliant.
Do you ever become blasé about smashing these records? I mean...
Not at all, no. I mean, we make, like, really, like, obviously we know there's, like, loads of crucial decisions to make, like, what's released first, what's single, this and that. So whenever, you know, we always make sure that we're doing the right thing and really look into things in detail. So I think if we become like that, then we'll just end up fading and going out of it.
I don't think we'll ever become like that. It's just so hard for, like, you know, everything that you just said then. It's very actually... It's weird and difficult to take it in. Like, you'd be laid in bed at night and you'll think about, you know, what we've achieved, and it's, you know, it's incredible. It's just so difficult to sink in what we've done in 2 years. We're lucky.
Who keeps you grounded? Who keeps you down to earth? Is that family?
Each other,
Is it each other?
Yeah,
a lot of it's each other, and obviously, you know, we have a really good team around with us who we're, you know, we're very lucky in the fact that everyone who we work with are actually friends with as well. It's
we were saying that last night.
You know, it's not just a work relationship, so it's nice that you get on with the people that you have to spend every day with. And, you know, our families as well are great at, you know, keeping us grounded, and, you know, like we said, each other as well, just if anyone gets...
Why is your voice gone?
I don't know.
It's getting serious.
Yeah,
It's getting
emotional. We're proper lucky out there in terms of, like, family and friends and stuff. They completely treat us exactly the same as they did before. So, yeah, we haven't really changed. I think we're exactly the same people we were before, and we're just really lucky
crazier.
in the sense that we did get put in a group because we have each other and we all understand what everyone's going through, so it's really cool.
Let's talk about September. It was a very busy month for you guys. You win 3 MTV VMAs. Yes! And you're nominated for 3 American Music Awards. Is the recognition in the States as important as at home and Ireland here for you, Niall, or how does it compare?
We're just young lads doing what we love, and to get the recognition from, you know, from panels and from the fans,
Yeah.
you know, for these awards, it's just it's the most amazing feeling ever. And, you know, with the VMAs, the fans voted big time for them, and, you know, it was the most amazing day.
Yeah, that was
incredible.
Yeah.
I think the fact that it's like America as well, you know, you grow up like thinking about it as just this huge place, and like to think that our songs even like available in the US is crazy. So for us to be kind of getting awards and stuff, it just seems ridiculous, but it's amazing.
And when you're linked to big names like Demi Lovato, how close are you, Niall, with Demi? What's the truth behind all these rumours?
Demi! Come to me, Demi.
Demi and Demi are just really good friends, and they just kind of blew it out of the water. I think there was some stuff in the paper
Really
this
good
week.
friends.
And
Nice.
like they said,
He calls her Demi Tomato.
and
really
they quoted us
cute.
saying that we were going out this week, but it's not true.
But she has gone on camera saying, oh, Niall, you know, or Simon, Niall says hi and all that. Like, was that weird when she's on the X Factor USA talking about you?
Yeah, it was a little bit strange, but that's fine. I don't
Hey,
mind. It's only a bit of a rumour going around.
Now he's Demi Tomato.
Here we just do this.
I love Demi.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
What now?
Let's talk about October, where you make US history again. Live While We're Young becomes the fastest selling track by a non-US artist ever. You also make your acting debut in a Pepsi commercial alongside Drew Brees, the American footballer. That was pretty fun, I'd say. You looked great. Did you enjoy doing the
You know what
acting?
it is for me? When you go through all this month by month, you forget what month it was all in and what's actually happening that month. It's quite fun, actually.
I like it.
So I just wanted to highlight that point. I'm enjoying it. Yes, come on. Can't wait for December.
To do the Pepsi advert was crazy because, like, when you see all the massive names that have been like involved
know.
with Pepsi, like before, like obviously David Beckham's done it, Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, like Payne,
Beyonce.
the biggest stars in the world have done Pepsi. So for us to, you know, even like be associated with them like at all in any way, shape or form was just like, wow, we're doing a Pepsi advert. And to see it the other day when we watched it back on the computer screen was so weird.
Do you see maybe more acting for you down the line? Could we have, like, One Direction, the movie, the Spice Girls did it? What would you feel about
I
if
think
that
it's actually
opportunity
really,
came up?
like, it's a difficult thing to play yourself. I think we found that when we went on iCarly, and that it's really actually difficult to try and play yourself naturally, sort of thing. So
I think if ever we were to consider anything like a film, it would be, you know, more of like a documentary style as opposed to us acting, because I think we've got a bit of work to do on our acting skills first.
I don't know. So like a Justin Bieber or Katy Perry, one of those
Yeah,
kind
very
of
similar,
deals.
yeah.
Very cool. Well, lads, it's 8 million singles, 3 million albums, and you sold 1 million DVDs. What does it feel like to be the biggest boy band in the world?
I think, you know, when you kind of say it like that, we just like have so much fun doing it. And I think that's not until you kind of take a step back and hear stuff like that you really realise what we've done. So
Absolutely.
It's kind of crazy.
Why do you think you're so popular?
I don't know. I think we're just trying to be
blacked
we're just trying to be ourselves, and I think people seem to enjoy the fact that we're so honest about stuff. So, and we just have a laugh on the road. I think that's the main thing, really. We don't take it too seriously. We have a laugh and just see what happens.
Let's go back to the beginning, before the crazy started. Tell me what you were all doing and what you were all up to.
Well, I was at school. I just finished like my GCSEs, and then I would have started like college if this hadn't happened.
Yeah.
So
And
I was
Zayn?
landed.
This hadn't happened.
I just finished my first year at college, which is sixth form in the UK, and yeah, that was pretty much it. I was just a student as well.
Yeah, and I was just at college doing music technology and just doing that, really.
I was attempting to resit my first year of A-levels, failed the first time.
Right.
Just passed my driving test, just started going out. It's good times for me, actually.
Yeah, well,
it
you
was
weren't
good
doing so
times,
bad, yeah. And Niall, what about you?
I left school at the end of 5th year, so I didn't get to do my leaving cert, but I was just doing the same as everyone else, just normal everyday life.
And do you think about what life would have been like without One Direction? Do you think back, God, I could have been going back to school, or I could have been going to college? Does
Yeah.
that
All
ever
the
occur
time,
to you?
yeah.
Crazy, I think. You know, like, we just do so much, like, we travel so much, and, you know, like, thinking about what we would be doing if we weren't doing this is kind of crazy. Like, just going to school, going to college, and then going home every day is a bit of a strange thought.
Absolutely. OK, let's talk about the new album, Take Me Home. What can fans expect?
I think they can expect a lot of the same, you know. We're not trying to do anything too crazy and far-fetched with this album. I think we've tried to stay quite close, but at the same time, if you listen through the first album, you can hear a couple of tracks where, you know, it's us kind of trying to find our sound, and now I think we're confident that we really have that, and, you know, we've concentrated more on that, and just the quality of songs are better, I think, and you can hear that when you listen to the album.
We are nervous, but we're excited, and I think, you know, we are nervous, but very excited. I think we were more nervous starting out than we are now. Now we've actually made the record and everything's all finished up. Yeah, now we've actually made the record and everything's finished up. Yeah, we're very excited. I think we're really happy with it.
Why did you say that twice?
Because you told me to replay.
You're saying, like, how I'm reading out these crazy statistics. What do you guys yourselves regard as your biggest success to date?
Oh.
That's always such a hard question.
That's always such a hard one.
Because, like, obviously you just named a
so.
few, do you know what I mean? It's so hard to pick one, like, one standout moment.
For me, the big, like, wow moment was when the album went #1 in America.
Yeah.
That was for me.
And performing at the Olympics was obviously a big,
course,
a huge one as well. Like, that's something that I don't think we'll ever forget. Like, being invited to something that early on that's so, like, prestigious, and like, we didn't really expect. Yeah, it was really cool. When you actually think back on it, it was so quick and it was over so fast. But like, we met all these like just walking past the dressing room and seeing like Spice Girls and stuff there was just so strange. And then to think we're here, like, what are we doing
To
here?
even be playing a stadium full stop
Yeah,
of 90,000 people was amazing.
Unreal.
Never mind to who it's
And it was
broadcast
such
to.
a big show as well. Like, the show was wicked.
I think the thing about like getting the #1 that made it so kind of memorable was we're actually on a day off when we found out. So like, you know, we were doing like just normal, like everyday
So you weren't
things.
together?
No, we were just
No,
on
we
our
weren't.
days off.
I was
So,
going
like,
to a basketball game.
You know, we were just
Me
doing
and
normal
Payne.
things, like I was walking down the street and then you get this call giving you this amazing news.
So what is this? Is someone from the record label rings you and
Yeah,
says,
our
guess
manager
what?
called us and was like,
Willie B.
I was in a cab screaming like, oh
yeah.
and I lost signal. It was terrible.
I was on the street.
Oh my
and,
gosh.
And he called and was like, congratulations, you're #1 in America. And I was like, oh my God,
Safe.
so good. It was safe.
I lost signal before Will told me.
Did you? Your number.
Oh! Will messed about with me. He went, oh, I'm sorry, mate, I've got bad news. And I was like, oh, what?
He did that
was
to me
like,
as well, then.
You're #1 in America. I was like, sick.
Oh my God. How long?
The VMAs was up there as well.
Of
Yeah.
course,
Like, if
yeah.
you looked, we were sitting like along the line, like Rihanna, Katy Perry, Drake, like all these people around us.
Hello, lads.
Pink was sitting behind us, and Neo. And
Didn't even get as good seats as you.
To be fair, we had good seats.
You
didn't
did have
we?
good
Yeah.
Really good seats.
We,
Yeah.
we booked in advance.
Yeah, exactly, pre-book.
A great deal online.
How long do you think you can go for? Do you even think that far down the line?
We kind of don't. I think, you know, we never thought about it at the start of, you know, like how long it'd last. And, you know, now we're just kind of, we're really busy and, we're happy that we're busy and we're working hard and having a lot of fun. So we just want to keep going as long as people will have us.
Dead right. So what does 2013 hold for you then?
Well, obviously
Long
we've got the album
tour.
coming out now soon, so we'll be touring that album all next year. Back here in March, playing 4 nights at the O2. So it's going to be fun. We finish that tour starts in February, and then we finish up on the end of October. The end of October next year. So it's a 10-month tour, really.
Wow. Does that feel overwhelming though, where
When you actually
your whole
think about
life
it,
is planned?
10
Touring's
months.
fun.
Is that how long we're on the road for?
10 months. Well, just a little bit less than 10 months.
Is it?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's not including breaks.
Mid-Feb.
So
Well, just
Yeah.
like, because that's
I
what
think
That's a long time.
On the road, there's like 8 months on the road.
at the end of the road.
That's like literally like the whole year's just...
Planned out, mapped out.
It's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Listen, lads, it has been an absolute pleasure having you in studio today. We look forward to watching your collective star keep on rising, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
One Direction released their debut single, What Makes You Beautiful. It debuted at number 1 on the UK singles charts and was the most pre-ordered Sony Music Entertainment single in history. 2 later singles, Gotta Be You and One Thing, peaked in the top 10 of the UK singles charts. In November of 2011, One Direction signed a contract with Columbia Records in North America. In February of 2012, What Makes You Beautiful was released in the United States, where it debuted at number 28 on the Billboard Hot 100. This was the first time since 1998 that a British act debuted so high. The song peaked at number 4 and has sold over 3 million units in the US. One Direction began a radio promotion tour when they arrived in the US in February of 2012. They performed their first American concert tour as an opening act for Big Time Rush. They performed with Big Time Rush from February to March. One Direction appeared on The Today Show on March 12, 2012, in their first television appearance, while at the Rockefeller Center, with almost 50,000 fans in attendance. One Direction's debut album was well received by critics for its appeal to the teenage audience. Up All Night was released globally early in 2012. Up All Night was a commercial success and topped the charts worldwide. It was also the first time a debut album by a British group entered the number 1 spot on the US Billboard 200 charts. This distinction earned the group a spot in the Guinness World Records. In such a short period of time, One Direction has built quite a business empire. Nick Gatfield, chairman and CEO of Sony Music Entertainment UK, has stated that from a combination of music, merchandise, and tour revenue, One Direction's business is worth over $50 million US.
Now, before we begin the interview proper, are there any questions we're banned from asking? Are there anything we can't talk about today? Yeah. Come on then, Noel. Yeah. Come on then, boy. You've changed. Yeah, go.
You did release a statement about this. You mean business, don't you?
Well,
One
you
Direction
read the
have released a
and
statement.
but it's just, it was just a bit unfair, to be honest, the way that was taken. We just want to keep it fresh and interesting for the fans, and that's the most important thing. And we had feedback from the fans, and people were just saying, we've heard who your celebrity crush is, so
Stop asking the same
ask better
questions.
questions.
Yeah.
That's
Oh
the truth.
no, that's our first question.
Should have read the statement.
Well, we never ask you the same questions. We always ask you the questions you never actually ever really want to answer. Listen, here's a good question. I wrote this myself this morning for you guys. Was there, because obviously, I mean, you've had a fairly successful couple of years. Has there been one defining moment where you kind of looked at each other and you thought, bloody hell, life is never going to be the same? What was that? What was that one?
I think VMAs, because
The exact moment for me was when they called our name for the first one.
Yeah.
We were like,
it just seemed so ridiculous because I don't know, when we got invited, when we found out we were going, we were like really buzzed to be going. We were like, oh my god, we're going to the VMAs. And then obviously found out we were performing, which was amazing. And then to win was just...
Yeah.
What about being on the back of a truck at the Olympics? That must have been fairly up there.
Yeah.
You know, I was a bit worried for your safety, in fact.
Those two, I think, are the two where we really came off stage and were like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Actually, do you remember when we were doing one of the rehearsals for the Olympics that it was actually quite dangerous. Remember the guy once slammed his brakes on him?
Oh yeah, we nearly flew off.
Yeah, if he was a wanted fan, he could have really took you out.
Yeah, he would have. Yeah.
Well, I always think you're not famous until my mum's heard of you. and my mum has indeed heard of you.
That is great.
Yes. Get it.
Mike
Olga Tulin is a fan.
Olga too. I like Olga.
Olga is a fan.
You do, Harry.
Harry, that's my mother. You stay away from her. We know what you're like. Listen, guys, it's been the most amazing sort of uptime. In fact, there doesn't really appear to be, and I don't want to dwell on any negative, there doesn't really appear to be any downs for you guys in the last couple of years. Pretty much every story, it's just built. Yeah, well, it's just building. It's building and building, isn't it? Not?
Yeah.
It is so far so good. Have any of you ever been ribbed by the rest of the band as of having had a diva strop? Have you ever turned around and go, "Come on, Zayn, don't get wrapped up in it"?
Has anyone smashed a telly?
Has anyone said, "I demand first class"?
Not on purpose.
Really?
Not in like a rock and roll way. It'll be like one of us have fallen into it and been
Right,
like,
okay.
oh god.
We kind of have those, like, if we're ever going to have, like, crazy moments, it's like crazy for fun, not crazy for diva. Like, yeah, like, we've had, like, fruit fights and stuff like that in the hotel room and trust have been told off a little bit, but
Right.
no, like...
Fruit fights.
Major,
I like that. So
that's
you've been
how rock and roll we are. We
launching
throw oranges
satsumas at each other.
Healthy stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
Which
5 a
actually,
day.
when they like, if they splat on a wall, they actually make the room smell really
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
It just smells of orange.
Is that your
So we're
excuse?
like-
doing the hotel a favour.
yeah, absolutely.
Never mind potpourri. This is the real deal. What about the? Has there been one thing you could isolate each of? Has any of you wasted money on anything? Because obviously now money is a different thing. Have you ever blown a certain? Harry, you're giving me a glint in the eye there. What have you wasted money on? Harry, you've got a big thing about cars going on now, haven't you?
I do like them, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say investments more than
Houses are investments.
So
Cars are not
if they're
investments.
collectibles, they are.
How many cars have you got? Come on.
I have 2.
And what kind are they? You don't have to give us the registration numbers.
One of them's a classic car, which is an
Is it an Aston
investment.
Martin?
No,
That
it's
is an
it's an E-Type Jag.
Will you take me for a spin?
If you want.
I've
yeah.
never even been in any type J.
Okay.
Okay.
neither.
What about Louis? Have you ever wasted any money on anything?
Yeah, I'm terrible with money. Yeah,
Are you?
Yeah, I really am.
I'm really good with it. Do you want me to look after it?
Yeah, please.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm just...
She's like
He's
Martin
an
Lewis.
I am. MoneySavingExpert.com.
Yeah, I'm not very good at saving money. I'm
Yeah.
getting better, but...
When you get large amounts of money in, do you have these kind of sort of lecherous accountant type people who say, right, listen, let me look after that. I'm going to invest that in offshores.
Not really,
Do you have all
but-
those people advising you? Or
Okay, so ours is Irish. And
Right,
he's,
okay.
He's kind of like, now come on now, lads, you got to be more sensible with
Not
this.
me, Louis.
yeah, I was going
Louis,
to
Louis.
take it to deadlock.
He just goes, this is like how the conversation usually goes, Louis, man, you can't be doing this. You can't be doing this all the time. You're spending all my savings.
That's exactly it.
So the album, Take Me
It All
Home.
Out.
Yeah, when is the album out?
The album is out 12th of November.
12th of November.
Yeah.
Neglect.
And is it the difficult second album? Was it difficult to put together?
I think at the start we were really nervous because we didn't have much time to record it at all, and we were just kind of nervous because second album's the one that everyone had said this is the hardest one.
Yeah.
And then when it came down to it, I think we'd figured our sound through the first album, so we really knew what the kind of One Direction sound is now. So, we could really focus on that and just make sure that we got the best songs that we could get. And we think this album's kind of on another level to the last one.
Is it better than the previous one? Yeah.
Not that the last
more
one's
powerful,
bad.
yeah.
Just this one's
Because I thought the last one was so-so, to be honest. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
See you later.
See you later. Okay, and that's out on the 12th of November,
Yes.
and Live While We're Young, of course, is out now.
Yeah.
We played that whenever it was, about a month ago on the show, whenever it was, and was it the next day it had gone to number 1 on the downloads in something absurd like 40 countries? That just colossal. Does that still surprise you, that level of success, or are you kind of almost used to it now?
No, they look at the watch and go, 3 minutes, number 1 now.
3 minutes, we're number 1 in Sweden.
Yeah, it's crazy, It's not something, that you can kind of get used to. I think it is what it is, and you just we just try to take it in our stride and not take anything too seriously and just keep having fun with what we're doing. But obviously, when we hear them sort of statistics, we're just blown away and just really thankful that people go out and buy our music and they're really supportive and dedicated.
The video looked so much fun. I actually
Yeah,
got
the video
home.
was great.
I got home yesterday, and Matt had left the music channel on, and your video was the first one that came on. And it's the first time I've probably sat and watched it properly. And I was trying to figure out like what was sort of staged and what wasn't. You just genuinely look like you are throwing each other about, bombing it in a jeep.
None of it was staged at all. There was no script. We just got there and we had different scenarios, like when we're in those big inflatable balls and stuff.
Yeah.
And he just said, right, do what you want.
Yourself.
And that's why it was just amazing. It was like
Just
really fun.
There's a really quick
here.
bit actually of Zayn. Your hair like blowing in the wind all down over your face.
Yeah, that shot. I actually had a camera, and
under
like
your chin.
I was filming it while we were like going over the bumps.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I think that's why I like the video, because it's not really that flattering of us. You know, there's shots of us like, especially like our hair, crazy. But
by the end.
Yeah.
Your hair. I mean, talking of your hair now, your hair pretty much it looks like you're permanently. You know, do you have?
We just take them off at night.
Yeah, it's like Lego.
It's a wig, isn't it, Harry? There is the guy in Union J. Obviously, we saw you on X Factor a couple of weeks ago, and that was a kind of a weird thing, even as a viewer, to watch, because it looked like, hang on, One Direction meet Little One Direction. But
they're older than us, is the weirdest thing.
Yeah,
one of them's
really?
24.
One of them's 24.
I can't remember his name.
The youngest guy's 19.
Is he? There's one Harry who looks just like you.
George.
Is it? George Shelley.
George
George Sampson's joined.
George Sampson's about 19 as well.
We edit that bit out.
He's doing Singing in the Rain.
Have you been dishing out style advice to him, Harry?
No, it wasn't style advice. He just told me that people kept telling him to cut his hair.
Yeah.
And I just said, don't.
Yeah.
Don't bother.
Right. Okay.
Because man.
Yeah. And what did you talk to these guys about? What did they ask you backstage?
It was just like, do you have any advice for us? And
yeah,
feels weird giving advice though.
We don't even feel. Yeah, we don't feel like experts ourselves.
Do you not? Oh, that's nice, Zayn.
Yeah, so it's strange to kind of think that somebody's looking to us for advice.
Why did you come on the X Factor like in this big?
It was a shameless,
and then
go off 30
It
seconds.
was a shameless plug of our single.
Oh right.
You didn't even say anything, Harry. You didn't even get a chance to speak. It was Niall. He got Dermot's question wrong. He was booted off.
Couldn't hear him. Oh, why did you answer wrong to the question?
I couldn't hear him.
Sure, Dermo, I can't hear you.
Well, so you just make up any answer?
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah, the family are good.
Yeah. That's why I just went for it.
Well, I heard 2 years ago.
Well,
the X Factor.
I presume you're going to be back performing on it at some point in this series, though.
We're waiting for the invite.
TBC.
TBC.
Oh, okay. Oh, right. Okay.
And Niall, there was something I read recently about you and Talisa dressing up. Is that true? I'm not talking in each other's clothes. Yeah. You were in high heels and a lovely spandex number.
We're just at V Festival and we tried to disguise each other.
Oh, right, and that was pretty much it.
Of course you did.
Yeah.
Do you ever
disguise me?
If you were going out and you didn't want to be recognised, would you ever? I mean, obviously, so you did at the V Festival, Niall. Let me ask Louis: would you ever disguise yourself? I mean, what is the standard?
You'd look brilliant in a pair of those glasses with a nose and a moustache.
Well, to be honest, we recently we
Yeah,
did for our tour videos, and there was a picture that came out of me. I was in like this fat suit, and like they had like all the prosthetics. Yeah, like that's the word. Yeah, I had massive cheeks, and you couldn't tell it was me. That was quite good fun. I could just be,
that was so funny.
Really stupid.
I was an old lady.
This is in some video, or this is just...
Our tour screens, yeah.
Harry, there's so many jokes when you said old lady. There's a lot of gags I could make there, but I'm not going to.
Yeah.
No innuendos, please, Mike.
He's looking at it in a really bad way. He's looking at it in a bad way.
We will not be coming back.
Oh, no, don't ever say that. So, guys, just very quickly then, I know you've got to go in a minute. The next few weeks, obviously, you promote the album. Are you all over the world, or are you based in the UK? What's happening for the next few weeks?
Yeah, we're kind of...
We're everywhere next year.
Everywhere.
Doing different bits and pieces around Europe for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing 4 or 5
Yeah,
countries.
we start the world tour on February 22nd in London.
Yeah.
And then we're on... I've answered it wrong.
Yeah.
And then we're on the road for about 8 months of next year.
You know
touring.
when you don't hear the question, you answer it.
Yeah. Like what happened to me in the X Factor, so you got wrong.
What was the question? What did he answer wrong? I thought he answered that right, didn't he?
No, I thought you answered the wrong single.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
we're up
He
to...
talked about the world tour.
About the world tour. So you spend...
quite finished.
So you've got 8 months, and that must be difficult then, being away from your family and friends when you're there. Obviously, it's exciting, and you are quite literally living the dream. But is there a bit of you're like, oh God, when am I going to see my girlfriend? When am I going to see my mum again?
I think that's probably the only. It's probably the only con of what we do. Like Akon, yeah. Just like we're not being able to see our friends and family as much, but you know,
Have you not got to the point yet where you can say they're coming with me?
Yeah,
we do.
Sometimes they do come up, but obviously, like especially that family, like subject to work and that kind of thing.
I suppose then the pressure's on you because you're trying to work, but you also want to spend time with them.
Yeah,
and make
you
sure
do
they're
get
okay,
that.
So it gets you
It's actually
stressed.
dead stressful if you
Yeah.
have family or girlfriends over because you have to like make sure everything's
They're
alright
okay.
there.
Because Louis, you're going out with a girl. We won't say what her name is, but you're going out with a girl. She's at Manchester.
Everyone knows, yeah. Eleanor, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so you're going out with a girl. She's here in
Goes to
Manchester.
uni in Manchester, yeah.
Oh, wow, cool. Are
Yeah.
you getting a chance to see her today, or?
Yeah, I saw her last night and she's coming down later on, I think.
Okay, that's cool.
Manchester.
And can we just? So who else very quickly before we go? Because all the girls want to know who else is loved up here and who isn't. Niall, Zayn, of course, you're with Perry, aren't you?
Yeah, I am.
And
Manchester.
yeah, okay, and things going amazingly well for Little Mix, aren't they?
Yeah, they're doing really well, yeah.
Smashing it, aren't they?
Oh, yeah.
DNA.
Really good.
Really
No,
happy for
they
her.
are.
What do you think about the Girls Aloud reunion, by the way?
Sick.
We're
I went
good.
to watch Cheryl the other night at the O2 in London.
That is so Niall, isn't it?
Yeah. Goes to
I got the
every.
support for my fellow X Factor people.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with the fact that her boobs nearly fall out of that
No,
collar
I saw those
jumpsuit.
pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were very
I did.
I
That
might
was a
go.
proper wardrobe.
She
malfunction.
looked incredible and she dances very well too.
Yeah, she does.
Did you listen to any of the songs?
Oh, I thought you were asking a
Sorry,
question.
what was
Yeah, he asked, do you listen to this? Are you a fan of Cheryl's music?
I really
am,
like
yeah,
that.
I really like it.
You know that
The Flood.
Don't Say My Name song? No, Call My Name. Call My
How do
Name.
you think it feels?
Don't
Yeah,
call
Call
my
My
name.
Calvin Harris do
I
that
really
song.
like that song.
Yeah. Okay.
That's a lyric that you can turn on. So.
Fellas, listen, you've got to go. And thank you again for... Niall, what are you doing?
I'm doing some next level dancing.
Thank you very much for
Thank
popping
you
in
very
again,
much.
seriously.
Thank you for having us.
And this has been One Ruddy Direction on King Ruddy Direction!
One Direction has been attributed with the reinvigoration of the boy band concept. They have also formed part of a brand new British invasion in the US. One Direction has sold over 8 million singles, 3 million albums, and 1 million DVDs as of August 2012. The group performed their song What Makes You Beautiful at the closing ceremony for the 2012 Summer Olympic Games that had been held in London. One Direction has already had a huge impact on a global scale. They have received numerous awards and recognition for their impact in the music industry. It's amazing to think that a quirk of fate threw these boys and their lives together. Even more amazing is all they have accomplished in such a short time. It will be interesting to see how the group and their music changes as they grow as individuals and musicians. One thing is for sure, One Direction has just gotten started.
One Direction! Are you all happy with your little mugs, boys?
Absolutely buzzing. My mom's going to love it.
Is she?
Yes.
Do your mums all watch the show? Of
course.
Yeah.
Thank you, boys, for coming to see us today.
Thank you for having us.
You all look really, really great because you are having the most madcap lifestyle of any 5 young lads in the entire world.
We've kind of adapted to this kind of lifestyle where we have to work so hard and like really long days, but we have so much fun while we're doing it.
When you all got sort of thrust together when you didn't make it through as solo artists, which I find amazing because you're all smashing singers, were there kind of any ego clashes of you all still striving for that spotlight?
There wasn't any at all, really, no.
God, you'd think there was a boy band in here, wouldn't you, with all that noise?
I think we did it the right way around because when we got put together, instead of like rehearsing, just, you know, constant rehearsing, we got to know each other and we stayed at Harry's place and we all got to know each other there and just got to know each other as
Harry's
mates
place
first.
up north?
Up north, yeah, in Manchester.
Which is near me, of course. Presumably you've all got your friends from home. Have they all embraced your fame?
I think a lot of people kind of feel like whatever they say
It's not
isn't as
interesting.
exciting
Yeah.
as
Yeah, no, they all-
so
I
they just don't know what to say to you. So a lot of the time, like friends that you've had for quite a while, it becomes awkward. 'cause
Yeah,
they
when
just
you
don't know
simply
what to
say, what have you been up to, then they, well, nothing quite as exciting as what
Well,
you've
exactly,
been doing.
exactly. Or you won't be interested in what I've been up to, and yet, of course,
But of
you're all
course,
interested.
yeah.
Now, obviously, most importantly, we've got you here because you're promoting your new album, Take Me
Yes.
Home. Your first album sold went to #1 in something like 15 or 16 countries? 17. 17 now. 17 countries.
That's so quiet because he was like
17, which is really incredible for a band that hasn't been together that long. What did that feel like when you heard how well that was going? And in America, of course, where you've gone massive.
When you hear things like that, and even, you know, still, it's just so difficult to take in, and you kind of, you kind of acknowledge it, but you never really fully take it in.
People often say their follow-up album is a massive pressure. Did you find that pressure when you were making Take Me Home?
No. The thing that's good about this album is actually we concentrate on making the songs a lot more about us and a lot more meaningful to us. Like some of the songs we've written on are like about like being on tour and stuff and all those kind of things. So
how much
nice.
input as songwriters have you had into this album? I know you've got guest writers, a lot you've had.
Yeah, we've had a lot more compared to the last album. We tried to get a lot more involved in the studio with the writing side of it because we just wanted to make this album more personal to us and our own personal experiences.
And the title Take Me Home, is that because you always want to go home? Has that got any bearing on the title?
It's kind of because we do so much travelling. Like it's nice to be able to go home. Like when we do get home, we cherish every minute we get home. Sounds weird, but true.
And what's the lead single called again off the album?
The first single is Live While We're Young.
Do you feel that you are living life while you're young in the way that you saw it going, in the way that you want it to go?
I think definitely not the way we saw it going. I think, like this whole kind of experience has been a massive change for us. But I think like it's important that obviously while all this is going on, obviously there's like loads of work for us to do, but at the same time I think it's important that we have to enjoy ourselves because we don't want to like look back on this kind of time when we're older and think could have had a bit more fun there, could have had a bit more fun there.
Who's the most starstruck you've been meeting?
I think early days first off, but you made it quite comfortable, was Robbie Williams. When we first performed with him on X Factor, obviously we hadn't really met many high-profile people except for the judges.
So you haven't got too cool for school, you can still go to other people like they do to you, or take a picture.
Yeah, of course.
Oh yeah, but I think you've got to try and play it cool on a certain level, even though inside you're like, oh my God, you've got to be like, hi.
You are the subject of quite a bit of... It's not nasty press, but it's sort of...
Naughty press.
Yeah, it's naughty press.
Mischievous.
Isn't it, Liam? It's mischievous press.
Do you
get fed up with that, Harry, a bit?
Do you know, I think, like...
And is there any truth in it, and with who?
I think, like everything, like, out of everything that's written, like, some of it's true, some of it's not, and I think, like any natural person, you kind of read some things and you laugh, and then you read some things and you don't laugh. But I don't feel like it's something I can really sit here and complain about.
I've got one thing in common with all of you. Niall, apparently you're the biggest eater.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
And apparently your fish died of obesity because you overfed them.
That's true, actually.
Is that
true? 2 of them died.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Ben and Jerry they were called, and he overfed them. Now, Liam, they call you the Gary Barlow one because you're the most sensible, and I've become the most sensible one. So do you think that's something that we share? Well, I
We've
have
got
now.
in common, yeah.
Because
you're more sensible than Gary Barlow.
No, I've become more sensible because I'm not drinking
really
anymore.
good at maths.
She's really good at maths. She's not sensible. She's not very bright. She's just good at maths. Right, Zayn, you've got a Geordie girlfriend.
Yeah.
And I'm a Geordie. Say in Geordie, stick a rubber hose up your nose.
Stick a rubber hose up your nose.
Oh my God, that's so fun. Isn't that good?
Yeah, that was good.
That's good, man. Work.
And
My girlfriend's...
Louis, you were, like me, in Waterloo Road.
Yes, I was.
What did you play in Waterloo Road?
I think it was Schoolboy number 6, the extra.
Schoolboy number 6. So you weren't in it when I was Steph Haydock giving my masterful performances crap teacher.
No, I was there then. Actually, I remember my friend Calvin had a photo with you.
And Harry, I used to have, again, past tense, compulsive flashing disorder, which is a condition and it's in the medical dictionary, and apparently you have that.
I don't think
It's a good disorder. Like that.
You do have it because you're always stripping off.
I'm not, like...
Well, I think you'll find you are. Denise Welsh in One Direction. Thank you. Thank you, boys.
Thank you.